your best friend that is dissing you online, you're you're dating your ex, your cousin's ex, your aunt and uncle are in a sort of kind of rift. Episode 7 of Bel-Air was kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna jump into it right now. But again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, notification me, you know? Let's do this. Welcome to Emirates Sports and Reviews, and today we are going to be reviewing the latest episode of Bel-Air, episode 7 of Bel-Air. Now, this episode was, what can I say, eye-opening to a lot of people in the show. It was, how can I put it? Seeing what happens, and you can automatically decide and understand where everything is going to be going straight away. Now, in this episode, in the previous episode, let's just clarify this real quickly. Lisa confessed to Will that she feels that Carlton is using her to, using her emotions to try to get closer and stuff like that. He overheard that, he hated it, but Carlton has realized that he's sort of out of control and he doesn't know what to do. Now, in this episode, obviously, if you watched it, you know that Will and Lisa actually end up kissing. Well, Lisa ends up kissing Will, and then obviously they carry on. But this episode, episode 7, let's just say it was interesting beyond all measures. Now, we all know Lisa's dad is running up against Uncle Phil for district attorney, and you know how crazy this is going to be, how insane, how important it is that the secret of why Will is in LA is kept a secret. Because if it's not kept a secret, that's Uncle Phil's campaign gone down the drain instantly. Now, Lisa's dad and Uncle Phil both Lisa's dad and Uncle Phil, both spoke to Will and their respective child that they're looking after. And we do see the correlation as to both of them trying to get information, but also trying to keep everyone at arm's length. Now they basically are giving them the conversation of don't mess around with each other, don't do this, don't do that. And obviously, once they get to school, obviously, Will and Lisa are making out as usual, hiding around, scurrying around, keeping in secret because they still haven't told Carlton what's going on. They haven't told anyone. So it's just their little secret. And that comes to bite them back very, very soon. And we will get into it. On other sides, we also how Aunt Viv felt about her paintings coming back, and we do have the main instigator, the guy that owns the art gallery that wants her to come back and start making her painting and showing up in the gallery. And Reed Broderick, he comes in as this. Obviously, there's sort of a sexual tension between him, Reed and Aunt Viv, for that seems to have been there for a very, very long time. Now, Uncle Phil knows this. Uncle Phil knows that something's going on. He doesn't know what the hell's going on, but something's happening, and he doesn't trust Reed one bit. Doesn't trust him at all. Feels like he's gonna make a play on his woman, and Uncle Phil ain't having that. He's not having that at all. Which I don't blame him. Again, I do not blame him one bit. So Aunt Viv has gone to an art gallery sort of showcase down in San Diego, where Uncle Phil has all of these press conferences, these interviews that he needs to do for the election that he's running for. Now he knows that he knows that when he finds out from Geoffrey that Reed is going to be there, Uncle Phil drops everything and travels down himself surprises Aunt Viv and Reed while they're having drinks, and you can see the hostility. You can see that Uncle Phil is being very territorial. He is being super territorial over Aunt Viv, which again, don't complain. Cannot disagree with him in any way, shape, or form. You're going to be very territorial over your woman. You have to be. Now, a lot goes on. So Aunt Viv finds out why he's there. Finds out that he's done a background check. Like what Uncle Phil asks him, what happened to these women, these young aspiring artists? They were working with you. What happened to them? No response. But you can see Aunt Viv was pissed off because she just knew instantly that Uncle Phil had done a check on him, found out everything that he needs to know, and if he needs to be aware of anything that has happened. We know that's the case. Now, Aunt Viv has, they do have a heart to heart. Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil do have a heart to heart where Aunt Viv basically says, you haven't supported me. Like, everyone else is saying that my art is fantastic. Everyone else is saying that my art is wonderful. But you haven't supported me. As my husband, you have not supported me. But then Uncle Phil does relay some information. When she was doing the art, when she was doing all of her arts and painting, when she was still starting out, Phil, they obviously had moved to LA. And you can see that from what he is saying, she's starting to realize and starting to remember everything. Now, Uncle Phil obviously breaks it down and says, of course I love your art. But it was tiring for you. It came to a point, even with the kids, it came to a point that you just didn't want to do it anymore. You felt tired before you even started. You just couldn't handle it. Now, I can't argue with that. Sometimes you do need to take a step back for a couple years and then get back into something and start doing it again when you have more time on your hands, when everything is open and everything is more wide and fresh and free and the kids have grown up. You can actually take the hobbies back that you've had from the past and just keep it going. It's been a look. This season, well, this first 7 episodes have been absolutely amazing. But we leave Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv and we go back to the party that, hmm, hmm. So, I jumped. So, Carlton is at lacrosse practice and his so-called best friend, Connor, this slimy git, bastard, whatever you want to call him, you can call him everything underneath the sun. So, Carlton's having a bad day at practice, having a terrible day at practice. And Connor makes the comment, well, I guess they can't take all of our sports then. And we all know that Carlton's not dealing, he's got a lot of issues going on right at the moment. His emotions are going haywire. And Carlton takes him out, breaks his wrist, and obviously Connor told the whole school that Carlton did it by accident, on purpose, and everyone started to shun Carlton out, which Carlton didn't like. And coming to his aid, Will, even though he has a big secret that he hasn't told him yet about Lisa, comes to his aid and basically tells him, all right, bro, what we're going to do, we're going to throw a party, we're going to get everyone in school back, and you're going to reinvent yourself with a new crowd. It starts to go well. It does start to go well. The party is in full swing. Everyone is having fun. Hilary is there chaperoning. She invites Jazz. Everything's going great until Carlton starts to talk to some of his fellow classmates. And one of them basically puts out, it's kind of interesting that you're chilling here with us. You don't really hang out with the black people in school. People think that you are a sellout. Basically, she said that you're basically a sellout because We've never seen you at like the BCS. I'm guessing it is bel-air. Um, I don't actually know. They actually don't say it, but they say you don't come up to these meetings. We've never ever seen you there before. Like, what's up with that? And he takes it very personal and leaves, which you can understand that because he's in this mind frame of what's going on. His life is changing. His life is just becoming completely different from what it was before Will showed up. Now, obviously, all of his teammates end up coming to the party, and one of his teammates invites Connor. Now, Connor wanted to know why. Where was his invite? Where was his invite? What's going on? Why have I not been invited? Connor just tells him, look, leave. But if you want to stay, you got to stop the racist stuff. You got to apologize for everything that you say. The black jokes, the Asian jokes, the Mexican jokes, everything. But Connor, being the type of person that he is, basically says no and leaves. He's bringing the party to it. And he expected the whole team to follow him. Everyone's like, no, bro. No. Which is good. Which is good. It shows that people in the show have a bit of common sense. They don't just follow people for following sake. Now that happens. Connor leaves, and then we pan over to Will and Lisa. Will and Lisa are in Will's room. Lisa went to charge her phone, and while they're sitting on the couch, they start to kiss. And obviously they're gonna go back. Will's like, let's go down to the party. Let's just carry on. Let's just have some more fun. Lisa's like, no. She goes and sits down on the bed. And you know where I'm going with this. So obviously, cut back to them. We don't know what's going on. But Connor has texted Carlton. And next thing you know, the police show up at the door. They enter the house, ask who's here, whose houses it is. And as a simple person would easily say, Carlton says it's my house. And they instantly feel threatened by Carlton. Instantly. The moment he's walking up to them, just talking to them normally, they're instantly threatened. They start they get into a side and they start searching him. Now, when Lisa and Will hear the music stop, they look outside, they see the flashing lights. Now, to still keep the secret, Will basically tells her, I need to go downstairs, I need to sort this out. I need to find out what's going on. And she's like, I'm coming with you. He goes, no. It needs to be, we still need to keep, she's like, I can help. She calls her dad, even though she told her dad she wasn't going to the Banks' house. She calls her dad and tells them basically the police officers are like, right, cool. Everyone out, party's over, leave. But the issue with that is that Carlton now knows that Will and Lisa are seeing each other. And you can see the hurt in Carlton's eyes. You can see Carlton is breaking. Everything that was his was, he reigned over. He had control over everything. It's now just disappearing. He's seeing that the way that he lives is changing. Everything isn't how it used to be. It's not just him, Hilary, Ashley, Aunt Viv, Uncle Phil, and Geoffrey in the house anymore. There is another factor in the house that he's gonna have to learn how to adapt to. I do feel bad for him because, it's a big change when something automatically changes, and you've got to adapt to something, especially when you're the only young boy in the house. So that was really, really tough, and that's where the episode does end. But we're gonna go to Hilary and Jazz. Now, Hilary and Jazz, we're getting the love connection here. We're seeing how these two are interacting. Perfect to cast for these two characters, to be honest. Again, bear in mind, they have cast everyone in this show perfectly. I don't have any arguments with any characters in this show. None whatsoever. All the actors fit the characters. It's just spot on. Hilary and Jazz are going to have a romantic relationship. We know this. And Hilary did a video for her for her social of the sexy nurse, and she didn't post it, but Kylo did. Kylo did. Kylo did, and in the contract that she has for the house, whatever is on the cloud, he will post it. He will post it. His job is to make sure that everyone is posting every day, making sure that there is some sort of interaction with every single person. But then when she goes to Kylo to take it down, Kylo basically says, I've got people that I want you to talk to. You know, Victoria's Secret wants to talk to you. This company wants to talk to you. And as annoyed and angry as Ashley was at first, as soon as she heard these big names, she sort of flipped the switch. She didn't really care as much. She wasn't as bothered. Because people did give her compliments and cared about the video because they enjoyed it. But you could see that it flipped. She didn't care. It was like, oh, wait, money, huh? This is working for me. I'm growing my product. Let's have these interviews. And Jazz being brought there to help to get it taken down feels sort of portrayed, which I can understand. It is 100% portrayed. It would feel like an absolute betrayal. So it makes sense. But episode 7 was a banger. Episode 7 was an absolute banger. And episode 8 is going to be amazing. Now, episode 8 is basically going to be all about Will's birthday. Now, come to a shock. I'm just giving you all the quick spoiler. Will's mum comes to town. No one expects it, but tension between Aunt Viv, his mum, Uncle Phil are all... This tension between them is unreal. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting. Because all the adults, even Geoffrey, they start to consider, should they tell Will about his father? We don't know who his father is. We have no idea. We don't know what the story is. But Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil have alluded to some things in the earlier episodes that they have somehow been a part of the reason why his dad is not in the picture. We don't know what that is yet, but I'm guessing in episode 8, we're going to find that out. Now, in episode 9, I'm just going to jump to it. I'm just going to give a little bit of a spoiler for episode 9. We find out that Will tries to find his dad, but then this causes a rift between Geoffrey and Uncle Phil, because I believe that Geoffrey is the one that's going to help him. But now, what's going to happen? What happens in episode 8 that makes Will want to find his dad? Again, every young man wants to know who his dad is. Every young man wants a relationship with their dad. So this is going to be, I think episode 8 is going to be a very, very hard hitting episode. Again, I'm looking forward to it. I have loved every single episode that they've done of this not even reboot, a revamp, this more serious version of the show. And it's been amazing. I hope you lot have enjoyed it as well, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. But let me know if you've reached this far, let me know in the comments of what you thought about the episode. What have you thought about the season so far? Have you enjoyed it? Have you liked the change of pace? What have you liked about the character development over the last 7 episodes? Because a lot of character development has happened. Like, you can just see it growing. Like, you understand the differences that's going on in each character's life. And it's not like this character's this character's, and it's just instant switches. You can see it slowly, gradually growing every episode. But what I'm going to say here is thank you all for jumping into the show. Welcome back. And I hope that you do come back for the next video. But if you do and you have enjoyed it, please look, I'm going to put some videos. I'm going to put a playlist and a video up here. Please go see what else I do and see if you enjoy it. But again, thank you all for jumping in. I hope you all stay safe. Bel-Air episode 7 gets a 9 out of 10 for me, because I just wanted more drama, to be honest. But I'm not going to give it a straight out of 10. Never doing that. Well, actually, I might. But thank you all for jumping in. I hope you all stay safe, and I will see you next week. Catch you later.